We are not in any way endorsing what this man is saying. Please do not send no hate mail. We just started season 3. We don't need that. True or false? Soldier Boy top 5 like entrepreneurs in music. Period.
True.
Of
Some people
all
might not
time.
of all time. True.
Of all time.
Of all time. True.
Yes.
We kind of accepted it. Gas prices are going up. When it starts hitting your food, guys, which it's personal.
A federal judge okayed lawsuit against Milford-based Subway restaurant over fake tuna claims. Subway stands by its claim that their tuna is 100% authentic, despite lab testing, which revealed 19 samples contained non-detectable tuna DNA sequences.
Have you been to Arby's?
It's got to be one of the most god-awful places I've ever been to. The whole place smelled. The sandwich was disgusting.
If you're an Arby's eater listening to this, and we told you if we tested the roast beef and it's not actual beef, would you be surprised?
In stressful times, people don't eat less. They eat more. And people consume a lot more sugar. Bring your family together a little bit more. Cook with family, enjoy meals with family. You can actually flip that on its head.
Welcome to the Good Life.
Welcome back. Episode 76, or some might say season 3, episode 1.
That's right.
And then there were 2. And then there were 2. Shout out to Stu, shout out to Kev. We are now headed into this next season of The Good Life. Got a little, I don't know what shoulder it's over. Right,
that one, you got it right.
A little signage action, showing you how serious this is about The Good Life. We're here, we're back, having more conversations. Kobi, how you feeling, man?
Man, I feel great. First of all, your setup looks nice, man. I gotta get one of those Good Life signs. That looks great.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, and yes, we got.
You look like royalty, huh? You're covered in purple. Look at you, basking in glory.
Grapes.
All right,
grapes.
Calm down. No grapes. Don't feed this man no grapes.
We got to take advantage of it.
Yeah. Grapes will be purple too. It would work.
It would work. But either way, guys, we're back with another episode of the Good Life Visual Audio Podcast. As always, I'm Chris, and now we got Kobi here. Say what's up, Kobi.
What up, though?
We're back. It's us two, and we're diving into this next season, specifically talking about health and wealth. Specifically diving into some of the areas around these 2 topics that we know you guys need the most guidance on, the most information on, right? The most help with. These 2 areas will continue to guide and direct your path to the good life.
That's right.
To the good life. And so that's what we're here to continue to do. Kobi, let's talk a little bit about like some of the changes, some of the expectations now that we're heading into this health and wealth season. What are some of the things that, people can be looking forward to? I know you and I have been powwowing for, a couple weeks now, talking a little bit about this stuff, but what can people expect?
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited because I do think we're going to be focusing on the 2 areas that have the biggest bang for your buck. And we always talk about Pareto's principle, right? 20% things you do that make 80% of the impact. And I think health and wealth fall in that category. So we're going to be focusing a lot more on that. In fact, that's how we're going to focus the show. We really want to hear from you guys, though. I mean, we have an idea of what we want to talk about, what we want to say. Quite frankly, I have found, shout out to the people around me that love me enough to tell me that we don't want to hear what you want to say all the time. So what do you want to hear about? I would love to get questions, like specific questions we can dive into, like health questions, wealth questions, so we can actually pull up questions and do problem solving on here, like break it down for you. Because I get so many questions in my inbox about all types of things. Like, hey, should I be eating meat? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? The more details you provide in the question, the better our response can be. You can comment it. We can have himbo/ash put it somewhere. Email us. Maybe we'll put
We're
an
trying to
email up. I don't know.
we have to figure something out because we've been trying to do this, right? Like we almost turn this into a Q&A show, right? Like
Yeah,
how do we get more engagement? How do we talk more about what you want to talk about?
I think spending this time to really solve problems is how we want to go about it. So, as you see this, leave us a comment, message one of us if you know us individually, and let us know. Do you want to see that happen? The other thing we're coming up with is we're going to be commenting on a broader range of topics from the health and wealth perspective, and we're going to start that today.
That's right. That's right. We're going to dive in. That's going to be more of what's going to add some value to the conversation out there. We want to add some value to the topics that are already being talked about, being read about. You guys are seeing it on social. You might be reading it on your local news outlet or your Twitter feed or whatever the case is. We want to make sure you can also hear the perspective from a health standpoint, from a wealth standpoint, from a money standpoint. How is this affecting? What shifts do you have to make? And so that's really the direction that the good life is headed. The mission is still the same, is to get to the place where you can design the life that you want, right? Design the life that you don't need a break from, right? That is the goal, continuing to move in that direction. But we're diving into health and wealth. We're going to talk about some topics. We got some topics lined up for you today. So I think we should dive in, kind of talk about what's happening in the world.
Let's do it. Yo, so I'm going to drop the topic, and I think not all of these we're going to want to cover. So feel free to pass on them. Say I don't want to talk about
I don't want to talk about that. That's
yeah, because I'm reading the first one right now, and like, all right, so I'll read it. So NASA releases the first ever colored images from James Webb Space Telescope, and they're blowing people's minds. Have you seen these?
I have not.
Do you have any intention of seeing this?
Zero intention.
All right, can I play Kyrie real quick?
Do it.
All right, so this is Kyrie. Man, we know they didn't go out there in space anyway. The world is flat. What are they talking about? Let's move on. That's Kyrie, not me. Please save your hate mail. That's Kyrie.
You gotta put a Kyrie. We gotta get you a face like one of those stick faces.
Yeah,
put the Kyrie face on.
That's not me. That is not me. Oh man, that man's career went straight down to the toilet ever since he started talking. Oh man, God bless him. Anyway, I would still love to see you in LA though.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be nice to see him over there if he stops talking about the world being flat and all the other things. But
I think he has.
I don't know if he stopped talking. Has he?
Yeah, he did. He gave it up.
Good. Well,
he got lit up.
I know. Anyone that starts pushing back, very much so a theme of what we talk about. Anybody that pushes back against society's norms is going to get some of that. He just happens to be on a main stage.
Whether he's right or not, by the way, we are not in any way endorsing what this man is saying. Please do not send no hate mail. We just started season 3. We don't need that. That's hilarious. All right, let's move on.
Moving on.
NYPD is going to stop random scheduled and pre-employment drug tests for marijuana. Testing will only be required if there's suspicion of impairment. First, what do you think this means? Like just hearing that. Have you heard this story?
I haven't heard this story. And right before we were jumping on, kind of looking and seeing some of these headlines and things, I had no idea what this story meant. I still kind of don't understand what it means. By reading it, it sounded a little bit like, hey, this is they're gonna stop like screening people on the street or pre-screening people at jobs or whatever. I didn't really understand the concept, but enlighten me because I think you have a better understanding of it, right? You've looked at this.
Yeah, what I'm gathering is that they're going to stop randomly testing their own people who want a job with the NYPD pre-employment drug test. They're going to stop randomly screening them for marijuana. So essentially, it sounds like you can smoke weed and work for the NYPD. Just don't act like it. That's what I'm hearing. Just don't act like it. Now, they will still beat you on the streets if they suspect you of smoking weed. They might still do that. And I'm not saying NYPD beats anybody on the street. I'm just saying you don't count, but their employees, they're going to stop. But this is a trend, right? This is a trend going on. I think the NBA, correct me if I'm wrong, if you notice, the NBA stopped screening or punishing for marijuana a while ago, I believe.
I believe so. That, and again, there's a lot of people on the NBA side that started coming out and talking about it. You had a whole podcast, Up in Smoke, right? Or All the Smoke.
Is that what they were talking about?
Yeah,
I've never heard it.
So if you the origin, I mean, it's called All the Smoke, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So Steven Jackson and
Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes,
right. But the premise of the show is they smoke weed, right? Like the premise of the show is like they were athletes that smoked, and they could never really come out and talk about the effects of cannabis and the effects of smoking, because in the NBA it wasn't like a thing. But now, Al Harrington is one of the biggest people in the marijuana space, in the cannabis space. The podcast comes out. All these other players, all these ex-players start coming out and saying they were smoking weed the entire time they were playing ball, and like it enhanced them and all these types of things. So it forced the league to do that. If like ex-players are saying like it's happening anyway, right? So you might as well, now people are talking about it. So does this really affect play? This is something that they've known for a long time. It's just now we're getting to this place of, is this acceptable? So the NBA is one thing.
Yeah, I think we've been there for a while. And what's interesting from a health perspective is just looking at, for example, I believe Ricky Williams, right? Ricky Williams, the Miami running back, former Miami running back. He's been known for this for quite a long time. But there's a difference between, I think we got to take a couple steps back and back it up. Beep, beep, like really back it up here for a second, because there's a couple of issues at play. There's one, the fact that you have children, kids, teenagers that look up to athletes as role models, whether we like it or not. Yes, Charles Barkley, I know you're not a role model. Relax, okay? All right, kids do that. That's number one. And they may not be as developed, if you will, to maybe handle marijuana, regardless of if we think it's good for you, not good for you, or whatnot. So I think that's something that the league is very cognizant of. Two is, the simple fact that you're dealing with state laws versus federal laws, right? It's still under federal, as far as federal is concerned, it's still not something that is just allowed. Now, if your state allows it, it's something else. We have right now, for example, and moving from state to country, we have right now, for example, Brittany Griner being, whether you want to say unjustly or not, being held in Russia for something that kids take for granted now, a vape pen, right? She's being held for like 100 and something days for a vape pen, but they don't look at it like it's just nothing in Russia, right? So you got a lot of issues at play here. I don't think it's as simple as just like, and the final thing I'll say here, and then I'll feel free to hop in, bro, is like, there is the football argument of like, hey, if you're going to pump me full of opiates, I should be able to use a natural plant to help me heal after I essentially have a car accident every Sunday, which is what they say happens in a football game, is equivalent to having a car accident.
It's the same thing for NBA athletes.
That's the same thing. That's the same argument they're making.
Same argument.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, bro. But do you buy the argument? I know nobody's a doctor in this show, but do you buy the argument? What do you think of some of the other factors that are listed here in terms of consideration when it comes to this?
I buy the argument that we need choices as an athlete, somebody that should have control over their body. That argument of, well, this team doctor or this physician that is paid for by my company, by my team, is going to do this to fix my body, but I prefer to do this. But the company, the organization says, oh, I can't do that. Well, there should be some choice there. There should be some choice. So I do buy the fact that, like, hey, if you're going to go the opioid direction, if you're going to pump me with a bunch of stuff, then at least let me choose this because I feel like I can get better results from it. I think a player and an athlete needs those type of, that type of leeway. What episode did we talk about this? Because we had an episode on the Good Life that we talked about like the effects of cannabis and marijuana and kind of what it's doing to our children or to the generations. We did touch on, I feel like, this conversation about what will be acceptable for children and how this is viewed for children. I don't know in this cannabis marijuana conversation about, I kind of liken it to alcohol and think about like how exposed, right or wrong, right? Again, we're not doctors and we're not like, this is good, this is bad, one is better than the other. But if you're going to take it as like something that is shown or portrayed or just given to or put in the presence of children, that happened with alcohol a very long time ago. What are the effects of that? Is marijuana going to have the same exact effects? Is it just going to become a normal thing, or is this going to become something that actively hurts our society, right? I think we talked about it in that episode about alcohol versus marijuana, and we kind of talked a little bit of the differences, but are these things the same?
Now, when you say effects, are you talking about the health effects? Are you talking about the what is it? Prohibition effects? What are you talking about?
I think all of them from the effects of how that thing affects your body, your mind, right? The health perspective of what that's doing for someone that is underdeveloped. The societal aspects of accepting this, of saying that like it's okay to be around it, or it's okay for an athlete to do it, or your favorite performer. And it's not like, oh, if you saw Michael Jordan drinking a beer, you wouldn't think anything really of it. It's not like, oh man, because he does it, then I got to drink a beer. We don't look at alcohol in that manner, right? Like
a little bit though. I would push back on that a little bit. I think you do. But nobody drank in my household, for example, bro. But I think I saw enough beer commercials where I was like, I at least received during football games, for example, right? Football games, where I at least received the message that to people outside of this house, this is clearly not a big deal.
You got that message from
the
television, from commercials.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I was like, well, clearly this is not as a big deal in sense of like whether or not I partake, it's not that big of a deal as my parents want to make it out to be.
Right. And that
which made me more likely to try it.
Did it though?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know you, right? Like we know each other. Like, did that do anything for you? Did you go off because you saw that? You just
no, but I was a different kid. I'm just
saying though.
I'm just saying.
Like you don't drink now. Like for everyone that's listening that doesn't understand that. To his example, like Kobi doesn't really drink. So like.
No, I don't drink. I haven't drank, smoked for going on 7 months now. So we'll see.
Exactly. And even before that, you weren't a big drinker.
What I am saying is, it does,
I said, and even before that, you weren't a big drinker, right?
No, right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, even though you got that message as a child and you saw it and that's how you learned it, even though it made you kind of go into testing it, it actually didn't. You realize, oh, I don't like this very quickly, and then you got.
Well, that's only because the first time I actually tried alcohol, man, I got smacked in the face by the law, so. That deterred me heavily. Heavily deterred.
That was like the extra.
Yeah, I was mad, man. I was like senior year high school. Here I was, only black kid in here, private school, and I had never really done anything. I'm pretty sure that was my first start with alcohol. Period. I've had sips here and there or whatever, right? Yeah. Senior year, I'm like, man, I did well in school. I'm about to go to school. I'm good. Like, let me go to one of these parties these kids are always talking about. I show up and all these kids are experienced, man. They know what they're doing, right? So all these kids open there, they have just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Me, a fool coming in thinking, oh man, I'm gonna show was done. Next thing I remember, I'm like, yes, sir. Huh? You want me to do what? Yeah, man. So that deterred me pretty heavily too. But that's besides the point. That's just a bad memory. Let's keep moving.
That's a great first memory, though. It's a great first memory.
I would say great. But
either way. But back to the point, that's the thing saying, like, how much is this going to deter by kids seeing this marijuana culture a bit more? Again, we're mentioning the article where now the NYPD apparently is basically not going to screen cops for smoking weed. That's basically what they're saying, right?
pretty
Like
much. That's what I got. If you got something else, y'all let us know in the comments.
yeah, let us know. Drop a comment, right? Like tag us in this if we're misunderstanding this article. But I'm pretty sure this is what it says. And this is a slippery slope.
Yeah, man. Because as you were saying, man, I actually had another thought here. I really do think it does have an impact on kids because let me say this as well, right? Having worked, as a high school educator, right? And I say high school educator, but pretty much the students on the I was a doormat, right? So, but seeing marijuana in music, I believe makes kids more likely to consume marijuana. I really do. Because for how long have we known, I mean, Snoop, one of the most successful artists of all time. He seems fine. There's nothing wrong with him, right?
He's our uncle. What do you mean? It's Uncle Snoop. We all love Uncle. Right?
What's the big deal? Right, you can't, and particularly young black males. You can't listen to any hip hop these days without somebody just telling you they graduated now. Now it's even worse. They graduated from the chronic days to like a little weed here and there, Friday and all this stuff. Graduated to now everybody's a pill popper. Every single song I hear is about Zans, popping pills and doing all the time. I mean, I guess maybe they moved on to other stuff now, but there's no way you can't tell me, just knowing what I know about health and how we receive information, you can't tell me a kid who sees somebody like that who's like saying this is okay in their head on some level. They don't go, all right, I guess, when the opportunity presents itself, when they go to college, because we all know it will, right? When it presents itself, that they're not more likely to be like, all right, I mean, this is not that bad.
Depends how much that kid is tapped into culture, but yeah, like because music is culture, right? Like we could say the same thing about people in the, I don't know, 80s that were doing cocaine or something because of music, because of right, rock and roll or whatever the case is.
You just said cocaine, so let's move on to the next topic. All right. So LimeWire has relaunched as an NFT marketplace using Soulja Boy's 2007 track. Crank That Soulja Boy in their advertisement.
I don't know that this matters. I don't know that this matters at all. Soulja Boy is a legend in the game for that song specifically, but
true or false? Soulja Boy top 5 like entrepreneurs in music. Period.
True. Some people might not of all time. True.
Of all time.
Of all time. True.
Yes.
All time. Like I'm there with you. Like
I totally agree. Yes, him, 50, maybe Diddy, Jay-Z, probably number 1.
Yep, I put Jay in there. So Soulja Boy for sure. For people that don't know, like
Master P,
might round out the top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
For people that don't know what Soulja Boy.
No, I was gonna say for people that don't know, like Soulja Boy, like ushered in the internet age, the YouTube, everything you know about music right now. Soulja Boy, like that was
changed
him.
The game.
Entire
changed the game.
The whole thing. The whole thing. He
I
actually
remember that, man.
Yeah, top 5. Shout out to Soldier Boy.
Shout out Soldier Boy for
Shout
real.
out Soulja
Hey,
Boy.
for the new generation that don't know, look him up. Look him up. Look him up. That man
that-
came out of nowhere, changed the game.
But that being said, this article about it becoming an NFT or something is kind of garbage to me, just because we're not really talking about this stuff right now. I know people should still pay attention. By the way, here's the financial tip, because I know a lot of y'all are super sore about what just happened in the crypto market and the NFT market, and you're still probably a little butthurt about it. Right? There's probably people that are. So just understand, if your thesis was correct, that this is going to be a utility that's going to be important, then keep paying attention to the NFT market. Keep paying attention to the crypto market. Keep paying attention to it. Just because you lost money in it, if your thesis is still the same, that, hey, that this decentralized kind of platform, the blockchain, the utility behind an NFT, those types of things are still going to be important after we go through this winter, then pay attention, and maybe it's time to keep investing, right? Don't get butthurt because you lost a bunch and you think it's not going to be it, because you're going to still lose out. Now is the time that you start paying attention to the things that you said 6 months ago, 9 months ago, 18 months ago, that was going to make you rich. That was going to, right, bring it all in and was going to be the thing. If you still believe in that, keep paying attention to the market. But for right now, most people aren't paying attention to the NFT market, unless they're taking my advice and saying the thesis is correct. Keep paying attention. If you're just gambling, get out and stay out, because it's going to happen again. You just find the next market to do it.
Now, put a number to it. What percentage of folks do you think are gambling versus percentage of folks who actually believe in their thesis?
For crypto specifically, or just in general?
Crypto specifically.
Probably 90-10. There's probably 10% of people out there that are actually have a thesis of like what's going to happen, and then 90% are gambling.
I would agree with that. And I think that 90% makes it real dangerous for the 10% unless you got in real early and you're just sticking around, and you've already taken some gains off the table.
Yeah, like I've always led with the same thing on this side, guys. Is like, for everyone that's listening, like, you just have to look at the utility. You have to look at things as like, how will this be useful? How does this fill a need? How will this be able to grow and be consumed later? Don't just look at it like, how can I make money from it? When that's the first thing that you think about as to your investment, or right where you're putting your money, well, normally you don't have a strong idea of what that investment is. If all you're thinking about is the return and how do I make more of it, you don't really understand fully that investment. You got to really dive in to understand, why is this important? Why is this a good investment? Why will this grow over time? What are the factors that will allow it to grow or not grow? You really have to do some research. That's how you start knowing that you are actually investing and you're not just gambling with your money.
Speaking of growing over time, inflation rose 9.1% in June, even more than expected as price pressures intensify. I've been feeling this, bro.
I bet you have. Like, tell me where. Like, tell me how inflation has impacted you.
Food, number one, right? So here in San Francisco, let's say maybe you get a burger for like, used to be maybe 13, 14, and this is a good burger. It's not like, some fast place, right? Traditional place, right? Now you're looking at like $17, $18, $19, right? Gas pump, that's the one that everybody knows. But we're basically just out here brushing the buttocks of $7, right? Just like we right behind it. We are perched right there behind $7 a gallon. So
you're in California, right? You're in California, the place.
It's real.
We were talking off camera. Everybody wants to be there. A bunch of people want to get there, right? But $7 gas, you're right there.
Toll.
Yeah.
Up $1.50. I was
see?
crossing the same bridge. I said, what did y'all put? Did y'all improve the bridge? Like, what happened?
That's a question to everybody that's listening, right? Like, how is this inflation impacting you? Could be, you said the number one thing that I think everyone needs to pay attention to It's food. That's the
Food.
next one. We saw it. We're seeing it in gas, right? Like, okay, we kind of accepted it. Gas prices are going up. Some people want to blame Biden, the administration, and all this stuff. Like, fine, it is what it is. When it starts hitting your food, guys,
Personal.
which it's personal. It's personal.
Yeah.
It's personal. Like, could be, I'm curious tying this into health, because we can tie this into money and health, but like, what is about to happen when the price of good food, fruits, vegetables, meat, right? When everything starts going up, like, what impact is this going to have on people? What are you seeing?
I think a huge impact, because what happens is when you look at food, people either have three things. They have easy, good, fast. Easy, good, fast, right? So, and you can move the words around if you would like, but I think what's going to happen for a majority of people is they're going to move towards fast and easy and sacrifice quality, right? So getting high quality groceries now is going to be a luxury, where so they're going to forsake that and go for the easy $5 gets me full situation, right? And when I say easy, as in, and this is my number one tip, guys: cook, cook at home, buy things and cook at home. But I feel like a lot of people aren't going to do that, because not only is the pressure of life increasing, right, as the prices go up. So now it's like, not only I don't have time, I don't have the energy, so I'm going to go easy and fast rather than go easy and good. We could go easy and good, whereas we could buy high quality groceries, like at, by searching around a little bit for it, right? Going and buying in bulk and cooking, and maybe simplifying our diet a little bit, right? Where now maybe you buy a big old thing of rice, you have good quality meat in bulk that you get from a local farmer, or somebody who actually probably benefits a lot more, and cook and simplify your diet. And when you actually do the math, you're actually spending less money doing it. But try to, I think a lot of people will still try to spend less money, but they'll go to Burger King, they'll go to
Right.
McDonald's, they go to somewhere else to try to grab it instead of doing that. So just keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
And in stressful times, people don't eat less. Actually, they eat more,
Right.
right? So they're gonna go for more easy and fast.
That's right.
So
That's
and
right.
people consume a lot more sugar in stressful times, right? It's like your sugar addiction kind of kicks up a little notch. So yeah, we're not in for great times in that aspect. But if you do take this tip, you start to bring your family together a little bit more. Cook with family, enjoy meals with family. You can actually flip that on its head.
That's huge. That's huge. The way that we need to change our eating habits, specifically because of what's about to happen in our with inflation and our food supply.
Happening right now.
It's happening right now. Like, it's the last thing that I saw when I went to the grocery store and I bought a normal amount of food that I normally buy. And normally I know, right? I'm a money guy, so of course I know my numbers. Normally, we go to the grocery store, it's about right $150 to $200 per time that we go. We get about the same amount of things, and right, because the house is pretty stocked. Well, it was 300 when I just went, and I got the same amount because I'm pretty systematic with that type of stuff. Same type of stuff, $300. Like, it's like 33%, right? Like, it's almost like, 30% higher. It's going to start hitting people's pockets. And you said exactly what my sentiment is. People are going to start to take the easy and fast option instead of continuing to take the good option and cut down how much they eat. Right. I think I'm so grateful to you, Kobi, but for learning fasting and the practice of fasting and needing less, because we're headed into times, ladies and gentlemen, that like you might have to live off of less food, less money, right? Less resources. You might have to live off of less. So are you prepared to do it? And I think that's what we're heading into with this inflation talk. It's really talking about, guys, we're going to have to lower our quality of life, our cost of living, like the things that we do. We have to lessen our lifestyle. If you follow cycles of kind of what happens when countries and economies get inflated, we all get kind of fat and kind of big and just, but we're about to go into a recession where we got to live a smaller lifestyle. You might have to, like Kobi said, you might have to get your meat and then have that meat last you for longer than it would. It's not just a meal. It's going to be a few meals. You're bringing it around the family. There's so much that's going to change. I think people have to get prepared for it, though. That inflation part is just a small piece.
1,000%. And we're not talking about starving, guys. I just heard a couple of people turn off. We're not talking about starving. All right, that's not what we're talking about. I think it's going to take a lot to see people like, normal folks who have the means starving in the United States. I think we're not really there yet. But what we are talking about is, I think the word is simplify. Simplify, right? You may not need to have, let me choose my words carefully here. I still hear people turning it off and cussing us out. Right? You may not need to have a meal from a different country every single day of the night, right? Maybe you don't need to have Mediterranean here and Asian here and have a little Indian here and have this. Maybe you just have meals that you have prepped for 5 nights. Big pot, right? Oldest of 5 kids. That's how we made it. My mom always had a big pot of something. You hungry? You know what a pot is.
The pot's over there.
What? Are we out of jollof rice? What? It got plenty meat in there, jollof rice. We're good to go. Fam, I ate jollof rice for not for breakfast. Luckily, not for breakfast. But for lunch and dinner, like I ate so much that I came to expect it. Like I almost didn't feel full unless I had jollof rice on top, right? It took me going through college before I was like, wait, so y'all don't eat rice? No? All right, bet. Got it. Rice and beans will get you a great pair, and rice and beans, and you add 1 egg, rice and beans, add 1 egg with a little bit of spice on top, you're good to go. You don't need that much more. I'm not giving dietary advice. I'm just saying simplify. Buy in bulk and simplify and plan ahead. That's
it. And so I'm glad you're aware of those people, could be, that are listening that might cuss us out or turn us off. Because it's season 3, man. I think we got to start weeding those people out. Yes. If that's how you took that, then yes, we do want you to starve. If that's how you took this conversation, we want you to starve. But for everyone that didn't take it that way and understood that this is about preparation and getting to that place, then again, you're in the right place. You're in the right place.
We're not here to scare you. Just perhaps just highlight a couple of things for you to think about.
That's all it is.
So it turns out 93% of employers want to see soft skills on your resume. Wow, would you look at that? Here are 8 of the most in-demand ones. Okay, you ready?
Was this a surprise? Is this a surprise?
Blew my mind. Mind them. Communication skills. Customer service. Scheduling. Time management skills, project management skills, analytical thinking, and ability to work independently. All right. So skip.
Yeah, skip this because this is almost common sense. And I don't really know, again, I don't know who's really writing resumes, but if you are writing resumes and you're going in, and I guess there's a lot of people that write resumes. I take that back. I guess there's a bunch, I think, because people keep saying like it's not enough people to hire, but like I feel like there's a lot of people out of work too. But anyway, if you're not mentioning that you have good customer service skills or you have good communication skills on your resume, I think you probably missed the boat of trying to get a job anyway, right? Yeah. Like those things are almost like guaranteed things that you got to put on a resume to get a job. So
the one that stuck out to me a little bit though was scheduling. And I don't know if I talked to you about this a lot, but I think one of the best skills I picked up from one of my corporate jobs was how to schedule and manage my time. right? Utilizing whether you Google Calendar, Asana, Calendly, a few just how to manage all of that is one of the big skills I picked up right out of college because I think that's not really something you learn in college, and you got to kind of learn that on the job.
It's not. And what's funny is, just to piggyback on that, these soft skills are actually the skills you need to be a good entrepreneur, right? To be somebody that actually knows how to create their own income. The communication, the ability to communicate your product, your service, your vision, those types of things. Customer service, right? Being able to deal with people. If you're in a business, you're gonna have to deal with some form of people. What are some of the other ones? Name the other ones again.
That was what was it? Time management, project management, analytical thinking, ability to work independently.
So literally those are the criteria of being an entrepreneur, but they want that at a job. Right? They want you to be that type of person, but just working for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which also though, that tells you that if you want to be an entrepreneur, that having a corporate job is an opportunity to sharpen those skills while being guaranteed a paycheck before you go ahead and make the leap, right?
If
So
they, yeah, I
for
mean, if
some,
those are your skills, if that's your actual skill set, then sure. But if that's already your skill set, I promise you, you could go do, like, whoever's listening to this that says like that's my skill set. You, as long as you have an idea or you can get around someone that has an idea, just use that, because that's the only thing that's missing from that list of things is like the visionary, like the, because analytical thinking, that's part of like the management part, or like being able to do it, the time management, all that stuff. But like, just it's the idea. Someone could have all those skills and just connect with somebody that has all the ideas, and you would do much better than submitting that resume to work for the job to utilize those skills. And they're going to like work you in not all those skills. They just want you to have them, but they're not going to work you. They're going to work you in whatever they want. So
I think that's fair. And I generally agree with you. But I'll say this as well, though. There's a lot of people out there that one don't think they have those skills, but don't actually have those skills, right? There's a lot of people out there that switch when there's no longer an overseer, like a corporation, right? How many folks you know who family member got some money, now they're going to go work for the family member and to work the same level quality of work that they're doing for the corporate employer. You don't see that over here when they're working for family or when they're working for a friend. All of a sudden they're not there. All of a sudden they're not punctual. All of a sudden they're not doing things right, right? So I think that there's if you know you're that type of person who's going to maintain that same level of quality of work over there when you're an entrepreneur, by all means, I think those are the people you're speaking to. The people I'm speaking to don't do that. There are a lot more of them that you know. I actually have a conversation in my head right now. He was waking up at 4:30 a.m. to go work for Walmart, but then you doubled his pay, gave him the same job, and now he's missing days at work and showing up at 9, 10 a.m. Come on now.
I hear you. And this is good that we can have the conversation, because I'm gonna keep pushing back. Like, then that's the owner's fault. That's the family member that hired him's fault for not keeping them accountable. Of like, hey, you're working at 4:30 because the consequence. I talk about this stuff all the time. We're either motivated by the carrot or the stick. We're motivated by the consequence versus being motivated by the vision of where we're going. So the consequence of missing that job when you're at Walmart was, you need the paycheck. If the person that you now work for, family member, friend, close person, doesn't give you the same consequence, you're just going back to your level of training. Like, the only reason most people do stuff is because there's a consequence to it. If there's not a consequence to it, then they won't do it anyway. We can talk on all the different levels. So that, in that example, I'd blame it on the owner, the person that let them do it. Right? I would always say, though, if back to the point why I'm going to push back on it is because if you have this group of skills, like you said, if it's delusional, I think you should just figure that out, that's delusional. Like, oh, you got great communication and great time management and you can schedule yourself and you're great with people. here's a great idea. Let's go build something. And then all of a sudden you realize you're not good with people and you can't wake up early and you get, all right, now those aren't your skill sets. Now you do need to have a job probably because that's not your skill set. But just to answer like this question of like, if these are the skill sets that a job is looking for, and you think those are your skill sets and you want all of those soft skills, go build something, go find a need and go build something or connect with somebody. You'll figure it out a lot faster on that side.
I agree with you. My last is pushback, though. My last pushback. I think a lot of people will do better doing that on the side. I just think a lot of folks out there think that's the life for them. Then they taste it and they realize that that really isn't the life for them. Or they poo-poo that job so bad, but they realize that job actually gave them structure in life that they actually needed. You know what I mean? They actually needed. So I agree with you. But I also got to offer the other side of it.
I can hear the other side, but this is the good life.
But go ahead. No, we're moving
on.
It's okay. We're moving on. So
moving on.
A federal judge okayed lawsuit against Milford-based Subway restaurant over fake tuna claims. Subway stands by its claim that their tuna is 100% authentic, despite lab testing, which revealed 19 samples contained non-detectable tuna DNA sequences. While all 20 had chicken DNA, 11 had pork DNA, and 7 had cattle DNA, according to complaint. Bruh, listen.
I can't.
Do I listen?
I can't.
How
old is this? Is this recent?
This is
and where was
this
it?
This is July 13th.
And right. Where? This is a city, a location?
Milford based. I don't know, man. No follow-up questions. I don't know. But this is ridiculous. This is, bro, I have known for and every I don't know when the last time you had Subway or any of these fast food. There is no way you can produce. There's just no way, economically speaking, numerically speaking, there's no way you can produce that many sandwiches, subs, and whatnot, and all of that meat is even decent quality. I'm not saying good. I'm saying decent. Like you're eating what they're telling you you're eating. There's just no way. I've never believed that in my life. No way. There's no way. Not all those chicken patties. You know how many chicken patties are sold every day? How many chicken sandwiches are sold in every single day? I don't, but I don't need to. Bro, you got a chicken restaurant on every block. There is no way on God's green earth that they're producing enough decent chicken to fill all that. And in fact, we now know, and you should watch Holy Chicken, check it out, right? We now know that the chicken they're raising have literally, and I'm going to do a post on this later, have literally been like enlarging, like fat, like it's just terrible, guys. Like, I'm not saying don't eat this stuff. I'm just saying you $5. We just talked about inflation going up 9.1%, and you think you're gonna buy some $5 chicken and it's gonna stay $5 and you're getting real chicken? No way. Hey, we are delusional here. There is no way. What about the people that don't have money to? I get it. I got you. I 100% understand.
It's just not chicken.
It's just not chicken. I don't know what else to tell you. It's not decent chicken. It's not decent chicken. It's not decent tuna. 19 samples. So they're basically mixing anything that has flesh
and put mayonnaise.
Now, are we sure the rest of it is what? Come on, man. Come on, bro. This is. You eat, you taste that thing, and you know. You bring anybody from outside the U.S., and I don't care if they grew up in a village of Cameroon or wherever, Ghana, where I'm from. They grew up here, and you give them a bite of chicken. I'm telling you right now, they'll tell you this is not chicken. It may still be good. I'm not saying it's not good, right? It may still be good, but this is not chicken. Okay, ain't no way you can have Chick-fil-A McDonald's, you have a Chick-fil-A is actually seems to be of higher quality.
Every
Right?
fast food restaurant has a chicken sandwich. Every fast food restaurant in America has a chicken sandwich.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Arby's, we
Yeah.
have the meats. Come on,
They have a
dog.
chicken sandwich.
Yeah,
Like everybody's got a
we
chicken
have the
sandwich.
meats. I can't with them.
Have you ever been to Arby's? This is sidebar conversation. Have you been to Arby's?
I think I went once when I was a teenager because I passed by it. There was one at the corner from between me and high school, and I passed by it all the time. And I was like, oh, I lived there for like 13. I was like, I've never been there. Let me try it. It's got to be one of the most god awful places I've ever been to. The whole place smelled. The sandwich was disgusting. Like the whole place smelled like horrible roast beef.
That's
and I say roast beef with a question mark because I'm not even sure if that was beef.
Well, that's what they sell, right? It's roast beef.
That's what they sell. Listen, y'all. I think I'm not saying don't eat meat. Saying if you're going to eat meat, if you're going to eat anything, do your best to ensure that it's of good quality.
That's huge.
Especially meat, but everything else as well. Our food quality is going down it's been down the drain for a long time. If you compare food from the same food from 19 whatever to now, it is not, bro. I'm literally looking at listen, I'll go off the top right now.
We're gonna go back the other way. Like this is a good topic and a good place to kind of wrap up for tonight. Like we're gonna go backwards. We don't understand what real food is, and at some point we're gonna get back to this place of understanding what real food is, right? Like it's not surprising. It's not surprising that the tuna at Subway is not actual tuna. That does not surprise me. Not even a little bit. Like I don't know who it does surprise. Like I'm curious if it does surprise you. If you are an Arby's eater, right? Please hit us up. Let us know. I don't know who keeps Arby's in business. I've seen them, but I don't know who goes there. But like, are you surprised? Like if you're an Arby's eater listening to this, and we told you if we tested the roast beef and it's not actual beef, would you be surprised? Like, would you be surprised that that's not? I'm very curious. It's a real question.
Real question. I'm pretty sure they have tested some of these, and I don't want to put any foul theories out here or whatnot. But look up, just Google McDonald's like human meat. Just Google that real quick.
Human meat?
Yeah. Just Google it real quick and just let me know what you see. That's all I'm saying.
McDonald's human meat.
Yeah, just Google. I don't know anything. I've just seen a couple things on the interwebs, and y'all know you can't believe everything you see on the interweb. But I'm just saying, there have been a couple lawsuits out here that
on the World Wide Web.
At best is suspicious. Those people pump out a whole lot of flesh-looking patties. Let me just say that.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that. You know what I mean?
That's it. All right, listen, I'm done. I'm out of here. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
We got to wrap it up. It was a good one. Again, these are topics that we're going to start covering a bit more, the things that are happening in the world. But how do we tie this back to our health, our money, how we think about money, how we think about health, all so that we can make sure we're designing the life that we want. We got to start talking about this stuff. We got to start having the conversation, not to scare you, but to bring awareness that the tuna is not actual tuna. The tuna is not actual tuna, ladies and gentlemen.
How can you be shocked? How can you be shocked? That's it for us today. If you guys like what you heard, make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, tune in, Tuna. Next Wednesday live, and then Monday for the edited version for another good one. And make sure you share this with somebody who would love or hate this episode, preferably somebody who would hate it, because they're usually more passionate.
Arby's
Because
eaters,
all
the
of us-
Arby's eaters. If you
yes, tag them. Golly, you should be ashamed of yourself. All good press is good press. Until next time, keep living the good life. And until then, peace.
Later, guys.
Welcome to the good life.